Hey guys, thanks for watching another episode of Maersky Draws. Since Titans apparently right now is trending because of the trailer that was shown at San Diego Comic-Con, I'm going to get into one of my favorite characters from Teen Titans, which is Beast Boy. And I know he's a fan favorite among the kids because of Teen Titans Go, but I'm going to do it in this. I'm going to draw him. At least the portrait, in the style of the original Teen Titans cartoon that came out before Teen Titans Go, because that's still one of my favorite designs. I'm also a fan of Beast Boy as he was shown on Young Justice, with the more kind of older, mature, not like adult take, but like the older than the current Beast Boy that they've been showing on Teen Titans Go. So. Again, if you like this video, go ahead and follow me on Instagram at Maersky on IG and at Tito M on YouTube. So here we go. It's gonna be a fairly quick video. I just wanted to get this out for all the fans that are out there of Teen Titans, and if you're excited about Titans, that Titans trailer that they showed on San Diego Comic-Con, let me know what you think on the comments below. Okay, there we go. So, how we're going to start this. I am actually going to switch colors up. I'm going to go into gray, kind of a lightish gray. I'm going to go into the brush tool. Again, I'm using Procreate. It's version 4.1 on my 12.9-inch iPad along with the Apple Pencil. But again, if you're using pencil and paper, these techniques still apply. I'm going to go into sketching and use my HB pencil. Make sure this is at a good stroke thickness, and it is, so here we go. I'm going to do a quick drawing of Beast Boy, so I'm just going to start out circle here. And Beast Boy's always been one of my favorite characters because he's, silly. Reminds me of, humor kind of reminds me of me when I was younger, and he's got pretty cool power, transforming into mostly any animal that he wants. He's also green, like my favorite Marvel character, which is the Hulk. And just like his overall tone and personality, it's very lighthearted. As you can see, I started off here with a little ellipsis shape, and then down here I kind of brought it down to a cone for his chin, since Titans was pretty much done in like more of an anime type style for Cartoon Network, which I loved. It's kind of how all the anime drawings start. So, quick eye placement here. Do the eyebrows. Huge, ridiculously big anime mouth. Sketching some hair. So there you go. We got the beginnings of the Beast Boy sketch. We're gonna just keep it in portrait for right now, rather than do the entire body. So what I will do, the shoulders. Alright, so that's the loose pencil sketch that I'm going to start with. Let's get a little bit tighter. I'm going to go start with the eyes. You'll see as I do more of these videos that I always kind of zero in on the defining features first. That's just purely for me and my style. I mean, feel free to do it however you want to do it, but basically just get into what I'm thinking about first when I'm drawing. I also, in my head, as I'm drawing, I'm breaking down what I'm seeing into shapes. So as you can see, like this right here, his eyebrow is basically a cutout triangle. You have this stuff up top here, and then another triangle underneath. And you do the same thing on this side over here. Okay. And I tend to skip around a lot to different features as I see what I feel needs to be rendered. At the moment, I don't really work in a specific type of order like some artists, which is, again, good for me. Some other artists that might be watching this might be like, oh my god, stick to one thing. But I've never done things too traditionally. Kind of just draw what I feel. And I encourage everyone else to kind of just, what you see that you need to work on, don't feel like you have to conform to a specific order when you're drawing. So I made that big anime mouth here, and I gotta fill it with some teeth. Now in Teen Titans, not Teen Titans Go, well, Teen Titans Go too, they didn't really define the teeth out, so I'm just basically gonna put a little jagged line here to get to the teeth. And when he's smiling, Beast Boy's fangs at the bottom usually are what pop out, so I'll put that right over there. Starting to look like good old Beast Boy. I'm going to get into the hair. I'm just going to swish lines here. Not really a widow's peak, but as I'm drawing this, it kind of looks like my son. If you check out my IG, my Instagram page, you'll see what my son looks like. And he kind of acts like him too. He's very silly. Shout out to my son. And there we go. Sketch is coming along nicely. Alright, let's erase some of this, clean some of this up. Coincidentally or not coincidentally, I'm not sure what the right term is, Beast Boy wasn't featured too much in that Titans trailer that DC Universe came out with today at Comic-Con. We did see him. I don't know how impressed I was with the way he looked. Actually, I don't know how impressed I am with the tone of Titans, being that I'm used to a little bit more of a light-hearted Titans, but we'll give it a chance. Again, if you're using pencil and paper, everything that I'm doing here basically you can do analog with pencil and paper. The only difference is that my erasing here is going to look a little bit cleaner, obviously because it's digital. Yours might look a little bit messier, but it's all good. What matters is that you're creating. And for any of the kids out there, hope you're liking this. Hope this inspires you to do some drawing of your own. As I start to clean this up, you know what? I think I'm going to want to color this. This looks too cool to not color. So what I'm going to do, in Procreate, I'm going to add another layer to do an ink. So what I usually do with that, I'm not going to do it comic book style. I'm going to do it more of anime style with the kind of cleaner lines. So I'm going to switch my line up to black. Oop. Charge this pencil. So I'm going to stick this in the charger real quick. But as I'm doing that, I'm going to go into my brushes. I'm going to switch to my calligraphy brush inside of Procreate. I'm going to make sure I have monoline selected so that the lines that I'm going to do are going to be nice and straight and clean. Again, not like comic book inking style, just more of a straight on animation type style. So I am going to go also into layer 1 and lighten that up a little bit. It's a little bit more transparent. And make sure my line thickness is the way I want it, and it's good. And I'm going to start in with the eyebrows. So basically just going to go in there and do some clean outlines. The way that one looked. Clean outlines, and then I'm going to fill those in. Now, if you're looking to do ink over your pencils at home, I used to do this with a very thin, not super thin, but a thinner type Sharpie. So feel free to grab a Sharpie marker and go ahead and cleanly outline your pencil sketch. Get in the ear right over there with the curve. And if you have different thicknesses of Sharpies at home, if you just happen to have them, that would work to your advantage, because obviously I'm using different line weights as I ink this digitally. I'm happy with that circle right there. Put the eye shine maybe right over here. Cool. Yeah, so the eyebrows obviously are going to be a specific thickness. The eyelashes are going to be a little bit thinner than the actual eye line. Fill in those pupils. It's looking good so far. You'll notice too from the video, I'm zooming in and out to make sure I'm going to be outlining this as cleanly as I can. Try that one again. Take your time though when you're doing this stuff, so make sure you get everything as clean as possible. Good, Garfield Logan. Yeah, back to the Titans trailer. I'm not too keen on how they were represented. It's a little too dark. That whole F Batman thing that Robin said. It's a little humorous if you ask me. But again, we'll give it a chance. Wasn't digging Raven or Starfire, and I know that Cyborg is in the Justice League movie. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen that one yet, but it doesn't feel like Titans without Cyborg in there also. So there's that. Alright. Looking good, all inked up. I'll actually close this up a little bit. Alright, we're going to put some color. Bring this back up. Alright, so in Procreate, there's a little trick for you guys in case you didn't know this, or if you're new to Procreate. Layer 2, which is where my inked line art is, I'm going to actually set that as a reference layer, and then I'm going to add a new layer and put it underneath here. Now, because layer 2 is a reference layer, anything that I put in layer 3 will conform to the line art of layer 2. Here's what I mean. With layer 3 selected, I'm going to go into my color palette. I'm going to go into green, since Beast Boy's green. It's kind of a pea green. I mean, you match the color any way that you want to match it, but I'm just going to get as close as I can. I'm then going to drag the color into the face. Now, hopefully all of my line art is close so that this won't leak over. And it should fill in just like that. Get that ear. On the neck. And his hair is a little bit darker. There you go. I'll get his eyes with that darker green also. Filling in the whites. Here. And his teeth. Looking good so far. I think though his hair might be a little bit lighter. Kind of a different shade of green. That looks a little bit better. Okay, and in his Titan's uniform it's purple. What I'm not gonna do though, I'm not gonna use the fill for the costume. I'm actually gonna paint that in. Brush a little bit longer. The reason I'm gonna do that is because all of this space here is open. If I go to fill this, I'll just show you guys real quick. It's gonna fill the entire paper. That's not what I want. So I'm actually gonna do quick paint over on this. And Beast Boy has really, I mean, at least the Teen Titans design had a lot of nice contrasting colors. So this magenta or purple that he wears is contrasted with his green skin, which I thought was a really good move on the design. Now, if this is closed, will it? Nope, it's not going to go that. So I'm going to have to do the whole thing. You try shortcuts where you can. Sometimes you just gotta do your. I'm gonna use a bigger brush so I can fill it in a little bit quicker. Oops. Yeah. So you try to rush. If you use a normal pen and, or no, sorry, keep going, pencil and paper, color and crayon, color and marker, use whatever you want. Alright, and then the shoulder is usually black. I'm not going to go with black only because I've just decided now that I am actually going to maybe shade this in a little bit. So I have a saved kind of navy blue color that I usually use for total black for clothes mostly, so that I can get some darker black tones in there later when I go to the shading part. So we now basically have the base color in there, and we could say that we're done if we want to, but we're going to take a little step further. What I'm going to do is on top of this, now you'll notice, I can't zoom in on that, but you'll notice in the layers up top here, the line art is up here, and you have the color, the base color down here, just so I know which one is which, as if I couldn't tell, but just so you have an idea of how to do this. If I tap on the layer, I can hit rename, and I'll put this as base color. And I'll put this as line art. The reason I'm going to do that is because now above the base color layer, I'm going to add another one, and I'm going to call this shadow. Just so we add another dimension into what we're doing. Now, the cool thing about this is that whatever I put in this shadow layer is going to be above the base color but below the line art, so that I won't be painting over any of the line art that I've created. So we're going to start with the face, and what I did there just now is I actually held down with my finger on the face for about 2 seconds, and then this little circle pops up and it selects the color automatically. Now because I'm doing a shade or shadow, I'm going to tone that darker a little bit. And since my light source, I want it coming from this angle here, I'm going to put the shade here. Okay? There we go. I'm not going to go overboard on the shading. I'm just going to make it so that Beast Boy has another dimension to him. There we go. Make sure you adjust your brush size accordingly, as you'll see me do, so I don't overpaint stuff. And again, this goes into the basics that you learned as you were kids, to color in the lines, which my kids only have recently learned to do. Okay, the shadow's going to cast over there. Let's put some shadow in the ear. Part of the chin. Doesn't have to be super perfect. A little bit on the nose. Definitely underneath the neck here. And you technically could have your light coming in the other way if you wanted to. But I'll put my lighting in the obvious spot just for the video. I'll be finishing this up pretty soon. But yeah, I mean, is Beast Boy even your favorite character? Do you prefer Cyborg? Do you prefer Starfire? Do you prefer Raven? Robin? Let me know in the comments. Should get some shadow on the teeth also. So, shadowing white usually means just going a darker, or a little bit darker into gray. Right in there. It's funny because I still get the same feelings as I'm putting shades like this. Some of it, as you're drawing, it kind of looks silly, but then when you zoom out, kind of just, it all makes sense. It's funny. It's funny that way. And I'm going to get some of the magenta basically turns into a darker purple. Put that in. A little bit. Good. Yeah. As you try to rush, don't rush. Make sure you're adjusting your brushes, because as you see with me, I tend to try to sneak it in, but it doesn't always work out. There we go. I think we could actually push this a little bit further. So what I'm going to do a couple of hot spots. So the same way we did the shadow, I'm actually going to put in another layer on top of that and put in some, just call this lights. Just going to put in, oops. So when you're taking pictures, you'll notice sometimes you have a hotspot of light that basically just is white. So what I'm going to do is actually here, and if you're using analog pencil and paper and marker, you can use whiteout to do this if you want to, but I don't know if it'll have the same effect. But generally what I'll do is actually come into, too thick there, I'll come into here and just do a little bit, highlights certain parts of the face, just places I think light will be hottest at when you're drawing. You don't have to do this. This is basically just stuff that I feel the need to do sometimes when I'm drawing. It's compulsion. Might be ruining the entire thing, but it is what it is. So I'll do that. I actually don't have to do anymore. I think that's fine. Let me put one on the, put one right over here. And then from there, what I'm going to do is actually, inside the lights layer, if I hit the N right here, there's an opacity slider. I'm actually just going to slide that down slightly so that it casts that type of shadow on there. Not shadow, but it'll make the white a little bit more transparent, give it that more shinier look. So there you have it. That's Beast Boy. Just gonna sign this. If you like this video, again, don't forget to subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at Maersky. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Tito M. I'm going to put my signature on this. I'm going to call this done. Feel free to contact me in my DM if you want any requests that you want me to draw for the next episode. But until then, thanks for watching. Hopefully this inspires you to get drawing. Take care. Bye-bye.